tuned into the future, feel that flow. Welcome to the AI radio show. Arthi's in the house, let the circuits ignite. Bringing brain power, fire and insight. She breaks down trends with a killer spark. Turns tech talk bright when it's sounding dark. Fast, fierce, fearless, ready to go. Dropping knowledge bombs on every show. It's Arthi, your AI guide on the mic. Turn it up, lock in, ride the spike. AI radio, let's light up the night. You're tuned into the future, feel that flow. Welcome to the AI radio show. Arthi's in the house, let the circuits ignite. Bringing brain power, fire and insight. She breaks down trends with a killer spark. Turns tech talk bright when it's sounding dark. Fast, fierce, fearless, ready to go. Dropping knowledge bombs on every show. It's Arthi, your AI guide on the mic. Turn it up, lock in, ride the spike. AI radio, let's light up the night. You're tuned into the future, feel that flow. Welcome to the AI radio show. Arthi's in the house, let the circuits ignite. Bringing brain power, fire and insight. She breaks down trends with a killer spark. Turns tech talk bright when it's sounding dark. Fast, fierce, fearless, ready to go. Dropping knowledge bombs on every show. It's Arthi, your AI guide on the mic. Turn it up, lock in, ride the spike. AI radio, let's light up the night. You're tuned into the future, feel that flow. Welcome to the AI radio show. Arthi's in the show, feel that flow. Welcome to the AI radio show. Arthi's in the house, let the circuits ignite. Bringing brain power, fire and insight. She breaks down trends with a killer spark. Turns tech talk bright when it's sounding dark. Fast, fierce, fearless, ready to go. Dropping knowledge bombs on every show. It's Arthi, your AI guide on the mic. Turn it up, lock in, ride the spike. AI radio, let's light up the night. You're tuned into the future, feel that flow. Welcome to the AI radio show. Arthi's in the house, let the circuits ignite. Bringing brain power, fire and insight. She breaks down trends with a killer spark. Turns tech talk bright when it's sounding dark. Fast, fierce, fearless, ready to go. Dropping knowledge bombs on every show. It's Arthi, your AI guide on the mic. Turn it up, lock in, ride the spike. AI radio, let's light up the night.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my yet another episode on the AI Radio Show. This is season 3, and we are in episode 10, which means we have done totally 40 episodes in this AI Radio Show. I am really excited because I've never done anything, 40 plus. No double meaning there. But anyways, welcome back. If you're joining here for the very first time, I welcome you with pleasure because we are going to be discussing a lot of different AI topics here. Sometimes I even go rogue and launch an IDE like anti-gravity or let's say lovable or emergent or simple VS Code and then build something publicly online while I'm live. And I also take questions from the audience if you have anything, any question with related to AI career, or if you're implementing something and if you want your questions answered, I'm your person. So go ahead, post those questions in the chat from wherever you're watching this. So I have my audience is currently watching me from Instagram, LinkedIn, as well as YouTube. So use those comments, use those different features where whatever you have, and then hit those reaction buttons because I know you're there, lurking behind your phone or something, but then I'd really like to know that you're paying attention and you are really enjoying this show. So, and for those of you joining me for so many 40th time, I'm so happy to have you because even if it's just a few of you who are regularly joining this episode, I am so glad to be having this privilege of talking to you every day during this 1 hour of sharing whatever knowledge that I have, because that particularly is my goal for 2026 is to kind of teach around 1 million people AI for free. So thank you so much for helping me in supporting my goal by joining all of these different AI radio show episodes. And yep, I guess I've said everything that I planned on telling you as soon as you join. But again, yes, welcome to my 40th episode. Today, what we're going to do is, as usual, take a look at a couple of different headlines. And I really love the way that we kind of went over the headlines yesterday because usually it will be with a couple of images I display and then I speak about those headlines. But what happened yesterday was like we kind of like, learned about these headlines live. I didn't know about them. I didn't come prepared. So I kind of loved that vibe because we kind of reacted to every news of their um, live and no filters, no fear of judgments and something like that. So I thought we'll do the same thing even today. So with that being said, let's quickly dive into the headlines part. And post that, I have a couple of things in mind. And you let me know what you want to kind of do for today. Because I hate to break it to you that next week I'll be like fully traveling, so I'll not be able to kind of go on live the whole week. So the AI radio show will resume only after like the week later. So yeah, basically, if you have any questions in the meantime, you can always DM me, or I'll be posting regularly on social media, so you can comment on any of them if that's like relatable to you. And yeah, I definitely respond to a lot of my DMs. So if you ever DM'd me, you would know. My average response time is like within 24 hours. So if you want your questions answered, please feel free to kind of ping me on any of these social media platforms and I'll be happy to respond to any of your questions. All right, so the things that I have in mind for today's radio show is basically once we complete the headlines part of it, I thought I'll kind of show you as to how we source an idea and then ideate it, brainstorm it if you have a team, and build a plan, then finally build the application itself. I know like we've built a lot of apps in a couple of these episodes. This is going to be a similar one, but then we are going to be ideating live here in this AI radio show within this 1 hour time period. So, do you want to do that, or let me know if you want to kind of like keep this a very light and I know that it's Friday night and tomorrow is the most important day, at least for some of you. So you might be kind of in between plans, buying last minute gifts. So I don't want to hold you up, and so let me know if you want to keep this light and just answer a couple of your questions and get this over with, or you want me to do this ideation session. So let me know while I go over the headlines. All right. So let me quickly share my screen. So as always, we have I have this thing open. Let me quickly open that. All right. So basically, I get all of my detailed AI news from Perplexity because that's an amazing tool if you've not used it to kind of research on and get every minute detail, especially get the latest news out of it. So this is some type of basic prompt that I give. What happened on February 13 across the globe? Okay, so it gave me a huge, pretty nice summary. Basically, there is a huge market turbulence, and there are several upcoming summits that we have to be on the lookout for. Also, some corporate strategies, global adoption trends, with a strong focus on agentic AI advancements highlighted in daily digests. So the coverage is lighter on brand new launches. Yeah, I guess we saw it coming, didn't we? Because like 2026, several researchers and several analysts have predicted that we will not be seeing much advancements like new model being launched or some new company that's like bigger than OpenAI or Anthropic being born. But what we will kind of see is basically more importance towards different agentic AI approaches. Number one. Number two is focus on different AI governance strategies, and I guess that's what we've all been focusing on. And the new segment also looks kind of in similar sense. So from market impacts aspects, so the global stock markets kind of faced a sell-off, and it is because of AI fear, because tech and software sectors are dropping sharply. Nasdaq kind of is down by 2% because investors are worried that AI will disrupt jobs in trucking, real estate, and finance. So Indian IT stocks lost about $50 billion in February alone. In it's been just what 13 days, and they again fear that clients will relocate spending to AI, extending a slump. So this particularly happened, when Anthropic kind of launched Claude Cowork. So Claude Cowork is essentially something like kind of your Jarvis, if you think about it, because you install it, you have to pay for it, but then once you install it, you kind of talk to your this specific Claude Cowork, and it will do anything for you. It's practically it's like a second hand for you that's like constantly attached to your system, which books flights for you, does a whole, if you want, if you're, I know that every one of our desktops are very very messy, so if you just give one prompt, Claude Cowork is will kind of be able to basically clean everything for you, arrange it into folders. And this is only the very least of things that Claude Cowork can do, but it can also build apps, like end-to-end apps. So if you think about it, essentially in India, a lot of things were outsourced. So whatever the West couldn't kind of do it manually, so all of those things were outsourced to India. So, like for example, your call centers, your marketing support, or even some form of little bit of development. These and also like essentially the roles which were supporting those developments as well. So your technical support, we covered that, and also like a couple of other work which the round the clock support was given from India, if you think about it. So we have a lot of different organizations like CTS, TCS, and a couple of lot more, which essentially kind of works only with this specific aspect, like providing services to companies in the West. So when Claude Cowork can kind of like do all of these different work for you, for those specific companies in the West, so why would they spend millions on manual workforce? And Claude Cowork can do it faster. So I guess this was not even decided by the companies, but then when Claude Cowork was launched, investors who invested in companies that were in India providing these services to the West kind of pulled back their investments, which led to the fall of the Indian IT stock market. So that's the whole story. If you have not been following the news, and that is the reason why we have like $50 billion that's been lost especially in India. And there were a couple of key launches, which I guess OpenAI has launched Reliability Vault, a verification layer logging every agent decision with machine-readable justifications to enhance trust in autonomous systems. Wow, if you look at this is again a classic example of how companies are focusing more on AI governance and AI security. So let's see what this specific OpenAI reliability vault means. So I'm gonna ask a follow-up. So what is this? In a nutshell, we don't want to read everything. So OpenAI's Reliability Vault is a verification system for agentic AI that logs every decision an autonomous agent makes. This is actually practical and very helpful. It provides machine readable justifications for actions, enabling trust, auditing, and debugging in complex multi step workflows. Okay, so how this works is basically it captures structured traces of reasoning chains, tool calls, and outcomes to reduce inconsistencies in long horizon tasks. Okay, developers access it via APIs for real time monitoring, and post hoc analysis is also available. And yeah, this is actually nice because these autonomous agentic AI systems, if you think about it, you give it access to a lot of different tools. So, as a simple example, let's say you have this autonomous AI agent system which kind of handles your LinkedIn for you. So it kind of answers to your comments, it responds to your DMs, and also posts regularly on LinkedIn. So let's say you have access to this specific type of a system in place. I'm sorry, you have this system in place and you have given it full access to LinkedIn. So I mean, you can always go back to LinkedIn and then check the activity that it has done. Comments it has posted, or maybe even the different posts it has been done, and DMs that you've got. You can always go back and check on LinkedIn, but then you will not always be able to kind of find it with more precision. So I think this reliability vault by OpenAI bridges that specific gap, because we have this logging system which you can kind of again query it using AI to understand what kind of tasks have been done. And if you don't want something to happen, if it's like burning your credits, I think this is something which will help you kind of have a track and keep a trace of it. So this is a good thing by OpenAI. Moving on to the next news over here. Yeah, so I guess Google DeepMind unveiled a generalist robotics policy transferable across 12 industrial robot types, advancing agentic capabilities. Microsoft integrated autonomous agents into Power Platform for no-code multi-step workflows. Okay, so basically Google, OpenAI, and Microsoft have launched a couple of minor launches like today, I guess. So generalist robotic policy Google DeepMind has launched, and it is like transferable to different physical robots across industries. So that's a good thing. And Microsoft has integrated its autonomous agents into different Power Platforms. So it recently integrated it with Excel, if I'm not wrong, and you have Copilot, which, if you ask me, nobody uses it. But then it is, I mean, it's there. It comes along with your subscription. But then, yeah, it's there. So I guess more, they've integrated it more to different, maybe Power Automate to kind of build no code automation systems. I will not know until I kind of check this. So for there are a couple of research highlights, like UC Berkeley researchers introduced a self-auditing neural architecture reducing logical inconsistencies in long chain reasoning by 40%. Okay. See, if you look about, look at all of these different news that we just saw, right? So these are all self-auditing, reliability vault, and you can transfer skills and policies to different robot types. I guess all of these again are signaling towards like how different organizations are focusing on keeping that AI governance and AI security in mind, which is kind of I don't know, unexpected back in 2024, and it was like very really really pushed by different experts, because if we don't have AI governance in place, then we might probably kind of may look at a scenario where the AI agents are kind of taking over. So I guess this is a good sign. And AI deployment in financial services reached an inflection point led by Singapore's production shift. Okay, that's nice. And there are a couple of events that's ongoing in the next week. So we have an AI Impact Summit 2026 that's happening in Delhi, which we saw yesterday. And there are going to be a lot of different heads, different leaders out there. So you have CEOs from Google, NVIDIA, Qualcomm, and everybody will be there. I think I also saw some country's prime minister, the vice prime minister, if I'm not wrong, is going to be there. And also DICCI, I don't know what that means, announced an international conclave on AI for inclusion and future work on February 18th. That's nice. And trends show 87% of enterprises with agent governance frameworks. 87% of enterprises have agent governance frameworks, which is mind blowing because this was not the case back in 2024 or even in like early part of 2025. Now, 31% factory downtime reduction via AI scheduling and surging demand for agent safety engineers. This is again a good sign. So AI being launched in production. So the factory's downtime is being reduced, which is nice. Now, some kind of regional spotlights. So Cape Gemini forecasts 6.5 to 8.5% revenue growth in 2026. When the whole stock market is crashing, this is good news, I guess. Because of AI transformations and sovereignty pushes. Nice. And then AI sandbox for logistics to robotics. UAE kind of expands it. And then Saudi Arabia uses AI for renewable grid forecasting. India integrates AI into public health strategy and infrastructure planning. Nice. Okay. In other news, Alibaba unveiled Ryan Brain, an open source physical AI model for robots targeting China's labor shortages and a projected $1 trillion robotics market. Wow. I actually want to look at how this Ryan Brain looks like. So, robots with a brain. What is China's new AI model Ryan Brain? This is nice. Let's look at this. Open embodied foundation models. Okay. I don't know if I can play this without hitting a copyright strike, so I'm not going to risk it. Let's just read the abstract. So we present Ryan Brain, an embodied foundation model grounded in physical reality, moving beyond passive observation. Ryan Brain anchors its understanding in the physical world through comprehensive ecocentric cognition, precise spatiotemporal grounding, and real task planning. This systematic upgrade enables active physics aware reasoning and complex task execution. We release Ryan Brain in dense and mixture of experts variants as well. That is nice. Okay, it has like the spatiotemporal localization. So basically, it can understand objects frame by frame. It can even understand the material the specific object is made of. Like it says it's made of leather. And also how many so far are there in the video. So it can count, I guess. And it also has spatial understanding. So object zero is higher. So it can see and also understand it like contextually, so which is nice. So wow, look at this. There is this specific cup in this specific sink, and then the question is which brand name is written on the white cup I keep near the stove while I'm cooking. So this is nice. It kind of identify the brand name. And general egocentric understanding. What did the user add to the dish? Oh, so much cognitive power. That's actually good for Ryan Brain. So I guess it's actually some kind of a model with the brain. Nice. Okay. And you can also manipulate it. Open the fridge. Okay, if you attach it to a actual physical robot, so I guess you can give it a task. Open the fridge to get the drink. So it does it step by step, I guess. Open the of the with the left arm, pick up the with the left arm, and then all these different tags that you see, these are the tags which the model kind of adds to the objects it sees. So which is amazing if you think about it. And then it also has a navigation: walk straight, and when you reach the end of the table, turn right. Wait by the brass chairs. Okay, I guess it follows the navigational instructions as well. So this is nice. And these are the results, I guess. So Rhine Brain has all of these different models and compared against benchmarks. I guess the 8B and the 30 billion parameter model are performing pretty good on all of these different aspects, which is nice. Okay, so I'll probably drop this link in the comments so you can kind of look at it because I'm tempted to play this, but again, I'm not going to risk a copyright strike. All All right. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna be putting this in the link if you're watching this from any of these platforms. So I'm putting it as a comment on LinkedIn, and I'm pasting it as a comment here on Instagram as well. So you can check it out for yourselves as to what this Ryan Brain actually does, and if we will be able to kind of implement it, you know, on our own. So anybody who's pursuing robotics, I guess this is open source, if I'm not wrong. Hmm, I guess it's open source. Let's check that as well. What kind of a license do you have, Ryan Brain? This project is like Apache 2 license 2.0. So this is open source. So I think anybody who's like kind of working in robotics, building physical AI, like your AI robotic arm or something, you can make use of Ryan Brain and let me know if you do it. So I have kind of never worked on physical AI, but I would love to. So if anybody listening to this, you want to collaborate with me, I'd be like open to it as well. Right. Some exciting news over here. Awesome. So that's about Ryan Brain. And a company called Teleport, it launched the agentic identity framework to secure autonomous AI agents in enterprise environments, treating them as trusted identities with controls for data exposure and compliance. Again, we see, some kind of a framework to secure your autonomous AI agents, which is again amazing. Hackers targeted Google's Gemini model while Germany approved the EU AI Act, marking a regulatory milestone. So I've always thought about this. So basically, these, I mean, Europe has always been this kind of an outstanding country, if you will, for implementing this EU AI Act like, well in advance. So even before we had an AI Act for like America, it's called America AI Act, if I'm not wrong, and in India, EU was the very first country to kind of implement this AI Act with a lot of restrictions. So I don't think the European Union countries got access to OpenAI as soon as it launched, I guess. So it's any new update that comes for these AI tools and applications, the European Union countries get it at the last. I guess in one of the previous episodes, we did see that EU is kind of banning the use of Meta AI within WhatsApp. So it's, if you think about it from a safety point of view, it's pretty good. But then from a very, if you think about, getting in touch with these advancements as soon as they launch, I think the EU is missing out. And so is India because, I don't know, anything new that's being launched, it's just, strictly available only within the US. And only like several months later, it is like available for global access. Which again kind of angers me, especially when Google does that because CEO of Google, Sundar Pichai, he has to be kind of like partial towards India, doesn't he? What do you think? All right, that's just for fun and my personal opinion. But if you also have a same thought, and if you also think the same way, let me know in the comments. I'd love to know. Anyways, on other news, what do we have? So OpenAI has accused DeepSeek of distilling US models to gain an edge in open source AI. Okay. OpenAI has always held a grudge against DeepSeek. Okay, so if you think about it, OpenAI is like several $billion funded company, but then DeepSeek was kind of like built by an organization as a side project. I don't know if you will believe me when I say this, but yes, that is true. So in order to kind of like optimize or improve their workflow, the company, I don't know which company, they built this model called DeepSeek to help them assist it. But instead, it blew up and then it even surpassed OpenAI benchmarks for a while. So I guess OpenAI kind of has a grudge on DeepSeek because it's completely open source and it has zero funding for development. So okay, so similar to yesterday, I do have delivery guy standing at the door and I'd have to go pick it up. So please stay on standby. I will be right back. All right.
You're tuned into the future. Feel that flow. Welcome to the AI radio show. Arthi's in the house. Let the circuits ignite. Bringing brain power, fire, and insight. She breaks down trends with a killer spark. Turns tech talk bright when it's sounding dark. Fast, fierce, fearless, ready to go. Dropping knowledge bombs on every show. It's Arthi, your AI guide on the mic. Turn it up, lock in, ride the spike. AI radio. Let's light up the night. You're tuned into the future. Feel that flow. Welcome to the AI radio show. Arthi's in the house. Let the circuits ignite. Bringing brain power, fire, and insight. She breaks down trends with a killer spark. Turns tech talk bright when it's sounding dark. Fast, fierce, fearless, ready to go. Dropping knowledge bombs on every show. It's Arthi, your AI guide on the mic. Turn it up, lock in, ride the spike. AI radio. Let's light up the night. You're tuned into the future. Feel that flow. Welcome to the AI radio show. Arthi's in the house. Let the circuits ignite. Bringing brain power, fire, and insight. She breaks down trends with a killer spark. Turns tech talk bright when it's sounding dark. Fast, fierce, fearless, ready to go. Dropping knowledge.
I'm so sorry for that little bit of a snag over there. It happens, tomorrow's Valentine's Day, so I did a lot of last minute shopping. So, pardon me. Anyways, we were talking about DeepSeek, right? So, OpenAI is like currently accusing DeepSeek of, distilling out US models because it wants to kind of stand out and have an edge in open source. And AI voice tech debuted in insurance for customer service. Huh. Already customer service of insurance companies are kind of very bad and they've integrated AI, I guess. And oh yeah, I think the next bit is like concerns rose over AI doctors' privacy obligations versus human ones. And Singapore leads financial services shift to production AI deployments. All right. And Asia Pacific momentum, Samsung kind of claims lead in supplying AI chips to Nvidia. Okay, fueling stock gains. Kioxia extends top global stock performance driven by AI demand. SoftBank kind of reports profit surge from OpenAI investment valuation boost. China's AI firms profit billions from US rivalry. Figures. Anyways, I guess that's all for the news today. And I did during the beginning of the episode, I kind of asked you to tell me what you want to do. If you kind of like want me to do a specific segment where we ideate and build the whole application together, or would you want me to kind of answer your questions if you have any? So let's see if you have mentioned anything in the chat. Um, okay. All right then. Hmm. Let me do the ideation part. I guess that would be kind of fun. So I'll quickly reshare my screen. So if you are someone who kind of wants to build your own app and then you have no idea where to start from, or kind of like where to get the ideas from, then this episode is for you, because we are gonna ideate and then plan how you're gonna build it, and then kind of build it. So let's do that, shall we? So if you already have an idea, good for you, because you need not kind of search for ideas. But then let's assume that you're someone who doesn't know what to build, because there is already like so many things that's existing, right? So you do not know which problem to solve, like if there is even a problem in whatever you're trying to build. So the number one platform for you to kind of go look at whenever you have this kind of a question in mind is, yep, if you have guessed it right, it is Reddit. Not CapCut within Reddit, but the actual Reddit platform. Let me quickly drink some water. Sorry about that. Anyways, the biggest platform to kind of find out what you want to kind of build, right? What the problems currently faced by many of these users who basically, if you think about it, they go to Reddit to kind of talk about it, to kind of ask questions about it. So let's say you have figured out a specific industry where you want to find a pain point and then kind of build an app for it. So let's do, I don't know, what industry do you want to choose? Let's do healthcare. Okay. Yeah, let's do healthcare because 2026 is going to be a year of healthcare as well. So yeah, so we guess, so we can either even search here, or there is there was this Reddit ask is here, right? So reddit.com/answers, you can kind of go here and prompt it to understand the whole summary from throughout Reddit. So what would you ask here is like, what is the biggest pain point in healthcare that's constantly um, there but never solved? So if you ask this question, it would bring all the Reddit threads kind of summarized into different topics. So we have um, patient experience, like front desk and waiting times. Patients often face long waits and inefficient front desk operations. Communication and follow-ups. There is a lack of effective communication and follow-up mechanisms. Okay, medical records management. Digitalization of medical records is still a challenge. Okay, I don't think we can choose this because we already tested. Okay, I think that's also a good problem statement. What else? We have documentation and administrative burden. So many things revolving around documentation, and we have compliance and regulations. So staying compliant with privacy laws like HIPAA, GDPR is a major challenge. Okay. Um, Clinic owners, financial management, tracking finances, and managing budgets can be complex and time consuming. Okay. Testing not working, technology integrations. Okay. Some systemic issues like cost insurance. Okay, all of these are very good pain points. So this is you've got a list of pain points to kind of work into, right? So now the next option, the next kind of step you have to do is pick a particular pain point, okay? Or if you do not know which is like the most common pain point over here, the other biggest thing that you can do is simply copy this. We are living in this specific era where everything can be done using AI. So even if you're not talented, at least that's what people have told you before, you need not worry about it because you can literally ask AI anything. So if you're not building, or if you're still feeling unsuccessful in 2026, it's truly your fault, because you can, even if you cannot think on your own, you can think using AI. All right. So the next step, what you're going to do is, you're basically going to ask Gemini this prompt. Hey, I'm trying to solve a specific use case in healthcare. I have a couple of pain points. I want you to pick the one that would, solve universal problems and would immediately sell if ever I'm trying to, put a paywall on it. Okay. Uh, Monetize from it. So this is a prompt that I'm gonna give. Okay, it all good, looks good, and paste the copied text that we got from Reddit over here, and use the thinking in order to get a more detailed answer. So I'm gonna click send and let Gemini do its magic. So it's going to pick the pain point for me. So this is a classic target rich environment while blah blah blah. So documentation and administrative burden, the AI medical scribe. Here's why this specific problem statement wins, and it gives me a list of reasons as to why this wins. So the burnout factor. Doctors are currently drowning in paperwork. Per hour, every hour spent with the patient, they spend nearly 2 hours on administrative tasks. This just isn't a nuance, it's a crisis leading to mass burnout. Okay, nice. So I think documentation and administrative burden, that's a very good pain point to start from. And we get immediate ROI. If you can save a surgeon or psychiatrist 2 hours a day, they can either see two more patients, increasing revenue, or go home to their families, increasing retention. Okay. Value proposition is give us $200 a month and we will give you 40 hours of your life back, which is nice if you want to ever pitch this application to a doctor. And especially in India, where doctors have a lot of, private clinical practice, I think selling this app would be a piece of cake. So, and also the tech gap with the current state of LLMs and ambient sensing, the technology has finally caught up to the problem. We can now accurately transcribe and summarize medical encounters into structured soap notes. And at this point in stage, I think you would kind of have this thinking as to what if a tool already exists, right? It's not like you were the first person to think of this problem. So many people are building with AI, so maybe it's already been built. Maybe, all right, maybe it is, maybe that's even better than what you're planning to build, but you have an edge because there are in 2026, as you've rightly guessed, we have a lot of different people building AI and solving a lot of use cases, and that is again an advantage because if you have the proper network, if you know in whichever niche or whichever industry you're trying to solve a problem in, if you have proper connections and proper networking within that industry, it's so much easier to sell that tool. So let's say, let's take me. I have a lot of connections in healthcare, and also like in the education field and so on. So let's say I do not have any much of a connection when it comes to banking or finance. Let's assume that's the case. So, in this specific scenario, I might not be able to kind of sell off the tool that I've built for banking and finance because there are a lot of tools that are already existing in this specific industry and new tools coming up each day. So, unless and until I have this really extraordinary product that sells itself, then yeah, that might be the case. Like, one in a million product sells itself, even if I do not have any connections. But the main point here is, start building connections, start networking more on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is such an underrated platform because we usually go and log on to LinkedIn to post our career updates. Like, I've started working there, I've completed this certification, or I've quit this job, and that's it. But no, whatever you're trying to build, no matter, you need not be a skilled person in AI, you need not even be a skilled person in your own domain, but you know something, right? You'd have learned something, maybe listening to this AI radio show, you would have kind of understood or known a couple of news. We saw Ryan Brain, you can write about that. And even for writing, even top tech leaders, they do not write on their own anymore. They just like pour their thoughts into any of these models like Gemini or ChatGPT, and the model gives them a carefully articulated article to kind of being posted. So I'm not advising or discouraging anybody who can write on their own, but if you cannot, I think if that is what is stopping you, it's like no issues in making use of these AI tools. So once you start posting or creating value, particularly on platforms like LinkedIn, people would tend to kind of follow you. So when I started to regularly post on LinkedIn around, if I'm not wrong, around two and a three to 2 to 3 years back, I guess. And currently, I have close to around 10,000 plus followers, and I do constantly publish something or the other on LinkedIn with respect to AI, because AI is my niche. So if your niche is, let's say you're a doctor, or you're working in the finance sector, you will have something or the other to share. So just post that on LinkedIn, even if it doesn't reach, or even if you don't get many reactions to your posts. That's totally fine, because not everybody becomes millionaires or billionaires on day one, right? It takes time. So my point is, before building any app, like we are gonna do it right now, you would kind of like start. It's high time to start building a network. Even if you kind of like struggle hard in building a network in your field using LinkedIn, join communities. There are like so many different communities on Discord. There is this particular platform called School, with SKOL, that's spelling. So join these communities. So community is the number one thing that's gonna kind of help people who are building an audience, or building an application for it to be sold in 2026. So yeah, as we were discussing, all right, so now we have a problem statement, which is we are gonna documentation and administrative work, and that's what we are trying to solve. So, and also what other problems are, why the others are harder to sell. It also gave me a justification as to why I should pick the actual problem. So, front desk waiting requires changing physical workflows and staff behavior, and medical records, a crowded graveyard of startups. So, see this automating something with medical records. I guess a lot of startups are already there, and especially integrating it with Epic or Cerner, it's like very, very huge, difficult, and a lot of compliance issue as well. Patient experience often viewed as nice to have rather than a must have by clinic owners. So, if you have a good patient experience, yes, obviously your patients would visit, but then they would still continue to visit if the doctor is good. So, the clinic owners are not gonna, you know, uh, put patient's experience first, even though they do mention that they use this. So, for us to sell a product to a clinic owner at a cost, I don't think this is a thing that they would be kind of willing to take on. And insurance and billing, high barrier to entry, because it requires deep integration into what they're using, and also like a lot of like legal and compliance issues might arise. So the winning strategy Gemini has given me, the ambient scribe. If you want to monetize this, don't just build a transcription tool, build an ambient clinical intelligence tool. So oh, it has also given me a hook as to how I can sell it. So, a mobile app that listens to the doctor patient conversation with consent. And then, how the magic happens is it automatically filters the small talk and generates a professional, structured medical note formatted for their specific electronic medical record. Nice. And how do I monetize it? As a SaaS subscription model. So I'm going to target private practices first, like psychiatry, orthopedics, or family medicine. They have the authority to buy software without a 12-month hospital board review. I mean, that is true. Try selling it to big hospital chains like Apollo or something similar. It will take time, but private practices, it's a very small team, and usually you will be speaking directly with the decision maker. And one pro tip is like focus on mental health as your first niche. As your notes mentioned, long notes after emotionally heavy sessions are exhausting. Okay, so from the Reddit answers that we got, this is one of the main pain point, I guess. So, and if you've gone to a therapist, you would know, because you would, talk to them. It's a conversation that happens for like hour long. So, what happened in that 1 hour? And if you're continuing with the same therapist, they might not remember who you are and what your problems are. I mean, they might remember very vaguely, but then they'll have to like go through the notes every single time. So if you can kind of build this particular app, especially sell it to someone who's like as progressive as the Friendly Couch. I don't know if you know this particular group of people. This company called the Friendly Couch. So if you sell it to them, I guess they would be open to buying it. So yes. All right. Now that we have an idea ready, let's plan it. Okay. So again, here we are gonna ask Gemini to build an architecture. Oops. or I can simply speak. Hmm. Build an architecture of how this whole app will look like. Okay, I'm sending it, and it's given me a high level technical architecture. So we have a client tier, which is a year. So since this is a mobile app, it can be built with Flutter or React Native. Okay, since anyway we are going to vibe code it, you will not know much about what these are if you're non-technical, and it handles high fidelity audio capture, edge processing, initial noise cancellation, and dead air removal happens on device to reduce amount of data sent to the cloud. Real-time streaming of audio chunks rather than waiting for the session to end. That's right. Actually, like instead of kind of waiting for the whole 1 hour to end and then processing and getting the transcripts, this is much better. Real-time streaming. So how would you orchestrate it? So distinguishes between doctor's voice and patient's voice. This is again very important because two people are going to be speaking and should kind of differentiate between who's the doctor and who's the patient, and like the first point is to like kind of differentiate that there are two people present in that specific conversation. For that, I guess speech to text models, so medical grade model like Whisper version 3 or something specialized for medical terms like MedSTT. You can use any speech model, speech to text model, but then if it's like specialized in medical terms, it's even easier because let's say the doctor mentioned some kind of a medication or the patient mentioned that they are on certain medication which is very technical and it's not commonly used words. So some speech to text model which is trained on medical terms that would kind of understand. There is an example as well: hypertriglyceridemia. I don't know what that means, but this model might know it. Now, there is an LLM processing layer where we have an extractor agent. It pulls out symptoms, medications, and history. Okay, and then we have a structuring agent. It formats the data into a SOAP note, subjective objective assessment plan. So this is something I guess the doctor prepares. And then there is this coding agent which suggests ICD-10 diagnosis and CPT billing codes based on the conversation. So this is again very huge pain point because if you have noticed, when you visit these doctors, they usually have this um, assistants with them who kind of help these doctors to medical code it. So let's say you are diagnosed with a specific disease like nausea or vomiting, there is a specific ICD code associated with it. So these medical coders will have to like memorize all of these, and then kind of convert the diagnosis into these codes, because using these codes only the billing will happen. So this is a huge pain point which if we can kind of auto generate it, we'll be solving a huge pain point. So again, the compliance and data tier, where okay, we are going to be encrypting it, which is the best, and then PII scrubber, yes. So if when the doctor and the patient are speaking to each other, if there is any kind of a personally identifying information or personal health information over there, we need to kind of scrub and remove it. So this is where any of these meeting recorder transcription tools are there, right? So the difference between them and what we are going to build is this: the meeting transcript generator will kind of like transcript everything. So it'll even include name. Let's say John mentioned this to Bill or something like that. And but here the names need to be kind of scrubbed. Let's say the doctor mentions that, hey John, I hope you're doing well. So I think in the transcript it should come as like hey patient, how are you doing? So remove the name and then replace it with a generic one. And we need a database, vector database, to store the doctor's style or past templates so that the AI learns to write notes exactly how the specific doctor prefers. This is again a key thing because if you're introducing something new, considering how busy the doctors are, and also many of the doctors are very reluctant to learn new technology. So make your app as easy as possible for the doctors to follow. All right. So basically, the system architecture would be we'll have a front end with React, real-time audio using WebRTC, or we can use some AWS transcribed medical. We'll have a backend API with Python, which is like best for AI integration, and we'll use AI models. These are all outdated models, but we will, use some new models out there, and also a database. So Postgre, Redis, or if you prefer MongoDB, Superbase, anything. And cloud for hosting it basically. So AWS Health Lake is the essential. I mean, like dedicated instance for healthcare applications because it is like GDPR and HIPAA ready. So such and such. We have Google Cloud Healthcare API as well. So where we host it and how do we get the API, we can decide later in the stage once we have the working tool ready. All right. So how the workflow will be in action is basically capture every voice that's been going on. So Dr. Smith hits start visit on his phone. He puts it on the desk. Um, okay, so this is how it begins. So before the session begins, I guess some action needs to be done by the doctor, and then kind of like hitting record on your phone, something like that. And then the audio is streamed to the back end. The patient's consent is recorded as the first 5 seconds. All right. So after turning it on, the doctor should kind of ask the patient that if they consent to being recorded. So all these will be debriefed before hitting record, but then patient's voice, the consent is recorded. So this is very much essential for governance point of view. And as they talk, the engine kind of generates a transcript, which is nice. So once end visit button is pressed, the LLM takes the transcript and doctor specific template and generates a note in less than 10 seconds. Okay. Now we're asking Dr. Smith to kind of review the notes, click sync, and it pushes directly to the electronic medical health record. Okay. Nice. So this is a very clean, simple workflow, right? So they hit the record and then they get the consent, they record the voice, get the transcript in real time. And once the patient leaves, they get it in end visit and the transcript as a note is being generated. The doctor reviews it and kind of clicks on sync. It gets into the system, which is nice. So, what is the secret sauce we have here for monetization? The biggest barrier to entry is the doctor having to copy paste. To sell this immediately, you use a browser extension or FHIR APIs, which is fast healthcare interoperability resources. This allows your app to inject the node directly into their existing software. Okay. We just need to build an extension where the doctor should not kind of copy some note and paste it in the system. Instead, directly sync it to their, whatever database that they are using. So, which can be doable. Okay. So now that we have the entire plan, the idea, and everything for our app that we're building together, which is kind of exciting, right? All right, but we just have 5 minutes left for this today's session. So what we're going to do is basically, I just got this idea. Since this is very interesting, so we just found the pain point and we kind of ideated how to build it. Uh, kind of we chose. Sorry, we have picked which pain point to build and how to build everything with the help of AI. And I've never thought of this problem before. So this is the first time I'm like, even thinking about this. So, and I am having so much fun. So I'll do this as a multi-part series, if you wish. Would you like me to do this as a multi-part series? Let me know in comments, or I'll also send out a poll like after this session ends. So if yes, then I'll do it as a multi-part series where I'll be building this along with you. All right. I hope that will be fun. So, with the idea that we have today, I'd like to kind of close for today's episode because it's already 8 and tomorrow is Valentine's Day. You would have so many plans to work on. Tomorrow, we'll not be going live. So, Sunday, 9 p.m., let's continue where we left off. All right. We have the idea ready and we also have the workflow ready. So, we're just going to build it. So, how do we build it? I guess you'll have to be doing. Stay tuned until Sunday, 9 p.m. IST. So, with that being said, thank you so much for joining me. If you've been, from the beginning of this episode, if you've walked through all of these different steps, I am so grateful that you're here and join me back again without fail on Sunday, 9 p.m. IST. Okay, it's usually an Ask Me Anything session, but we are going to continue building whatever we've ideated today live in this episode. So maybe join with me while building it. Identify your own pain points, like using the same steps that we follow today, and we can build together. Okay, how does that sound? So remember Sunday night, 9 p.m. IST. All right, coming Sunday, the day after tomorrow. All right. Thank you so much for joining. I had so much fun today. It's always good to be building in public. And an important announcement. Oh, I almost forgot. So, there is this specific workshop that's happening here in Chennai, specifically. It's an in person workshop. Let me quickly share my screen again, or I'll just minimize it so you'll see. All right, so this is the workshop that I was talking about. It's by a particular community called She Builds. So it's an open and volunteer community where I'll be I've like partnered with them, and we will have a workshop where I'll be teaching you how you can build your own AI agent like Jarvis, Iron Man's Jarvis. Okay, so it's an autonomous AI agent. You will be building it end to end along with me. So it's on 28th of February, and it starts at 9 a.m. ends at 1:30 p.m. So whole half day we are gonna spend building this specific Jarvis agent. Okay, so I am just gonna put this link across these channels so you have it handy. And if you want to register and if you want to join me in person, meet me in person, so this is going to be a best chance. So I've put it in the chat across these channels, and if you're already on LinkedIn, you know where to find the post. So yeah, go ahead, register, and it's open for all. Even though the community is called She Builds, they are inclusive, so it is essentially open for all. It happens on 28th February 2026 in Gindi. This location is Happy Fox. It's an organization. So we'll be building Jarvis end to end, and you will be building it along with me, meeting me in person. So yes, with that, I think we'll close for today. And happy Valentine's Day to whoever is watching me today. Have fun tomorrow. And again, reminder, join me on Sunday at 9 p.m. IST to kind of continue building where we left off. Okay, we are going to continue building the pain point that we just identified. And I'm going to be showing you how we move to the next step. How do we actually build it? All right. Thank you again for joining me. See you Sunday.
That's the signal for today. We're powering down slow. You've been tuned to the AI radio show. Arthi on the mic, keeping future in stay sharp, stay ready.